Alright, hello everybody.
Oh my god.
Hi. Um, Hello everybody, this is DV the Digital Hero, and we are here to do a post-commentary video of me playing through this game. And with me I have two guests. Introduce yourself.
You go, hi. I guess I'm just Matthew. Just don't mind me. I'm retarded. I'm just here. I'm
I'm gonna turn you guys
turn
up.
off turn off that Spotify just in case to be safe.
Also going to go ahead and boost up Sapphy or Shaq, depending on what you want to go by, because you were kind of a little low just now, so there we go.
Probably Sapphy.
Okay, so you're gonna go by Sapphy on here? Okay.
But
I can plug both. I can plug both of your. I'll probably plug both of your Twitches at the end of in the description of this video.
damn you! I was just about to pull the joke. I was supposed to be like, I'm totally not gonna pull a shameless plug. Check out my Twitch description.
Yeah. Anyway, so we are playing Maximum Carnage, featuring all these lovely people that have showed up on screen, including Demo Goblin and that guy. I do not like either of those last two guys that showed up on there. But yeah, we're going to be playing through Maximum Carnage. The Carnage is maximum, and he is in maximum security prison. I don't know if I could read all this quick enough, but it's also on the screen, so it's like Ravencroft of Maximum. Nope, it's gone. I sincerely hope you all.
You gotta do better. Come on, pick up the pace.
I would love to. I would love to.
Fix your eyes.
You guys should have listened. I warned you. There really is a monster hiding within me.
Oh.
Hey, Renstack, remember when I said I'd go easy on you? I lied.
I did a fib. I pulled a fib.
The fibbing has happened.
He has pulled a fib. Prepare for fibbing.
The ultimate insanity. Carnage.
You're hiding. I bet you there's someone hiding in this bush. Nope. There's someone hiding in that bush.
And then everybody in the prison just gets brutally murdered by a raving lunatic known as Carnage.
Carnage.
Carnage is trying to.
Such a thing.
And Carnage is trying to come up with a devious plan for trying to beat Spiderman and Venom.
You gotta beat him.
And then some nutcase decides to egg on Carnage. And it's this lovely lady who's going to join Carnage on the slaughter circuit named Shriek. Slaughter Circuit! The newest racetrack in Mario Party, or Mario Kart. The Slaughter Circuit. That would have to be like a either that or that'd be like a new Sonic R circuit that's based off Sonic.exe. I don't know.
Sonic, no.
No, not the Slaughter Circuit. Also, we have fake Spider-Man here with all his dangly arms. And apparently, he's also going to join in. actually sat down and technically read the entire comic series this was based off of one time. Not that long ago either. It was actually pretty interesting. Especially with how much yeah, it was just a pretty interesting whole story arc. That's for sure. Every enemy I defeat always seems to return. Whoosh! Animation! Like I'm destined to keep fighting them over and over and over again. And now, New York Street. Also, for the sake of clarity, I used to own this game on Genesis. Actually, technically, my brother used to own this game on Genesis. I played it a bunch as a kid. It was like technically one of my favorite beat-em-ups at the time. Of course, I rented some other beat-em-ups sometimes, but this is the one I had the most access to. Besides, like, the original Double Dragon. Yeah. So now we're in the streets beating up thugs. Known as Malcolm and Hayden and other people just getting their faces beat up. There's two people in an alley.
You got Bob over here.
Got Billy.
That's Jerry. You got Billy, Bob, Billy.
Got Mike.
Jobs, Gates, Person Man, and then
we got Trash Can. That's gonna just like completely annihilate those two guys. We got Tom.
Well, you see, Trash Can's the real.
We got Danny.
Here.
Danny apparently.
No. Trash Can is the most underrated Marvel character you could ever get. Like, look at how Trash Can just took down those two guys. You know what I'm saying?
I know, totally.
You gotta give props to your boy Trash Can.
Mm-hmm. I was also going to make a complete joke. Apparently, Danny Sexbang turned into a life of crime and had to get beat up by Spider-Man, but...
Well, we're not going to talk about Danny Sexbang.
Yeah, true.
We don't want to talk about Danny Sexbang, because then he'll come after us.
Yes, totally.
Rule one of knowing Danny Sexbang, don't talk about Danny Sexbang.
Yes. More dangerous than Carnage. But anyway, we're actually going to get off that conversation.
He knows.
Yes. Oh, look at those guys looking at the roof like, how are we supposed to fight a guy on a wall? He's on a wall and we only have fists.
Shoot him!
We only have the fists.
Who goes to fight Spider-Man and they don't even have any sort of weapon?
These guys, apparently. Not the later guys. The later guys.
Now...
Later guys decide to bring guns.
Now, if you have a gun or something, then maybe you can get a lucky shot off, because maybe he's like distracted by something and get like a lucky shot off. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to fight Spider-Man with only fists, come on now.
No. You got to bring in the A games, which will be shown later in this game. The A games are truly the detriment of Spider-Man.
Like, Spider-Man, really, he is way more powerful than you think.
Yeah. Spider-Man also makes for pretty good games because he's technically not immortal, like Superman. Or like not really immortal. He's not like invincible like Spider-Man. So having a health bar makes perfect sense.
And he doesn't have bulletproof skin like Luke Cage does.
Yeah. Oh, here's the first dangerous weapon. It'll be shown here in a moment. That's the most dangerous weapon for Spider-Man. I think it'll be shown here in a moment. Yep, there it is. Hair.
Hair. Oh no, not the hair. My one weakness. How did you know?
Yes, hair. The dangers of hair. Honestly, this boss is kind of annoying sometimes. Because there's just two of them. Dang it.
horses by.
Come on. Oh. Why am I rooting for myself when I already... Oh, that happened.
You already know the outcome.
I know. Well, apparently I got murdered. I lost one of my lives. The hare actually defeated Spider-Man.
Alright. So
but this is actually the best way...
all we need is Sindel from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, this is technically the best way to take care of them when they're one at a time. Is just to do this. Is just grab them with the web, bring them in, and then punch them a few times. Because that's like a permanent stun lock.
Yeah.
But that's kind of hard to do when there's...
accuracy, 0%.
I think they were like 60 some or something. I almost thought it was 69. I'm not entirely sure. But... then this is the next stage where we gotta climb. I think there's a bonus level here, but I completely forgot that bonus levels were a thing. And also I don't know where any of them are besides the one that's here. And the only reason I know of this is because seeing a video that showed it. But this level, pretty basic. You just gotta climb this wall. I think this is the only level in the game that's like this. Which is weird how they basically show you a level like this and then never show this again.
Right. It's not...
The game has some questionable design aspects.
Is this not the center?
Oh, and then there's this guy. There's that guy that just pops in, says hi, just kicks you down to... make you lose a little bit of health, and then just ignores you for the rest of the climb because you're at the top. And that was that stage. And yes, I'm using save stage between every level for a couple reasons. One, I wanted to beat this game in one go. I didn't want to have to restart this. That's pretty much the biggest reason. Because, believe me, as a kid, I can show you the point where I made it as a kid once. I don't know why I threw that way. I think I was more worried... Well, actually, it's okay, because I already won. Ish. Blech! And then Carnage smashes through the Daily Bugle.
He's like, hi.
He's like, hi, honey, I'm back. I'm back for the newspaper.
I bet you did.
I bet you did.
I bet your britches you missed me, baby. Can you imagine if he talked like that?
That would be hilarious. Actually, not sure what he sounds like. I don't think I've only heard a voice of him in Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I was so glad they actually had a Carnage arc in the game for Amazing Spider-Man 2, the movie.
Yeah.
And they technically made him the final boss, which was even better. That was a cool game. I need to play that one for stream one day.
He's sad. Oh, there's the set door.
And then now for the entire rest of this story, Spider-Man's ribs. They are broke.
They are destroyed.
They are literally broke after literally that fall from the rooftop. Blick! I love how the stage actually starts with him going blick. Right there, just blick.
Yeah, he still tries.
And then he still goes. You're actually injured from the last stage, which sucks.
Broke them.
The stage also actually has like a really cool bonus thing, as well as the hidden bonuses. And then they kind of stop with like there's a lot of things this game does that's very questionable. Like in the first two levels, there was like hidden things on the walls. Like,
yeah,
there's hidden things in the walls in the first two stages, or like not the first two stages, but like the first two beat 'em up stages, like this. Like, there's hidden stuff in this level, and then there's hidden stuff in the first level. Yeah, that's exactly the reason that you don't necessarily want to, reason why it's kind of hard. I love how a heart popped up as soon as I died. Amazing. Also love how the first. I also love how the first boss of the game is now just a normal enemy. That's way weaker. But still has dangerous hair. You still there, Sapphy? You haven't talked much.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Doing there, pal.
What do you think of this game so far? There's some hidden stuff.
It's not something I play much, so I really can't comment.
Hey, just comment on the wackiness of it. Because, I mean...
To be honest, I really can't.
Just make jokes like me, it's easy.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Make
Putting
jokes.
on a hold, you know, like on if it's easy or not, depending on the person, but you guys just have fun with it.
Yeah, true. Well, if you want to commentate, feel free to.
Okay.
Anyway, so... Let's see. Now we're beating up Dana. Because Dana.
Isn't Cloak and Dagger in that game?
Yes, actually. I believe we may be seeing them semi-shortly.
Well, I always thought they were cool characters. I
Yeah.
love the fact that they're basically inseparable.
Are they in the... I know before we actually started this, you started talking about the 80s cartoon a lot. Were they in the 80s cartoon?
Yes. I think they had. I think there might have been in one episode. I know they are definitely in the new, well, the newer one, Ultimate Spider-Man. I know they're in that, but I don't remember if they were in the 80s cartoon or not.
Because I don't know much about them besides this game.
I mean, they are pretty obscure characters.
Yeah.
They're D-list characters. I mean, they're not talked about as much.
There's a free continue right there. There's extra live earlier, and then a free continue right there. We need those later.
They need. I feel like characters like Cloak and Dagger, Moon Knight, Darkhawk. I feel like they all need just more people talking about them. They're such cool characters, and it sucks. That they
Yeah, it's always sad when there's like
spotlight.
characters that would be really cool to see more of, but then yeah, because I always kind of hated it, like in like X-Men for say. One cool character in X-Men, or at least I considered her cool because she was in like 2 of the games I used to play a lot as a kid, but then like never was a major focus in like the show ever or anything. She did pop up in the show, which was nice, but Psylocke.
Oh, I do like Psylocke. She's one of the
Psylocke's real
lesser
cool.
known X-Men.
She's lesser known, but she was definitely in like 2 games.
She was
And
yeah.
also
I remember
more.
She was in one of the like little fighting games I used to play.
Yeah. Alright.
And then
Also, this boss is kind of cool. There's a trick to this boss. And that is actually beating them. This boss seems like it's endless, but it's actually not. But every time you win a fight with them, you get more stuff.
of course.
I think like next would have been a continue, and then it might have been something else. And there's Cloak and Dagger right there, I believe.
Yeah, that was Cloak.
But
Yeah, there they are.
that's why I was saying that you're gonna see them very shortly. But like the more like it basically goes, I think, with the 2 fight, and then a 4 fight after that. You have to fight 4 of the big guys at once. I think if you win that fight, I forget what you get. And then there's another 4 fight that just basically immediately knocks out. It basically is like scriptedly knocks you out. And then
Isn't it the only reason Spider-Man... I feel like the way they kind of get... Because Spider-Man normally would not lose to those goons. But I think the way they made it for the story purposes is that he was extremely weakened from Carnage already, so he was like very slow.
No, the problem is getting knocked off blasted off of the roof broke his ribs.
That's what I mean, like he was already like weakened to begin with.
Yeah, that's the only reason he's actually having trouble right now. That's like the reason he has trouble throughout the rest of the story. Is because that blast off the roof broke his ribs. And he's dealing with broken ribs for like the rest of the story.
It's like you try fighting off a bunch of goons with like several bones broken.
Yeah, and like trying like and thankfully not piercing any major important organs.
Spider-Man's a tough dude.
Mm-hmm. I love old school beat 'em ups like this, but I would want to make a game like this, but I probably would not have lives. Just because I kind of hate lives in games.
Okay.
If anything, I'd have it to where you could pick it, like, I'd probably have it to where there'd be, like, items. Oh, there's Carnage. Ouch. I'd probably have it.
No. That's the face of a constipated man.
That is definitely what's going on there, totally.
He's just sitting on toilet, and he is just having a. Oof.
And then, meanwhile, in I believe San Francisco.
Here's Eddie Brock.
Yep, Eddie Brock. Thought we were done with you, Carnage, but we'll make sure that this time.
I bet he remembers the first time he got his V card, aka Venom.
His Venom card, wow.
His V card. Spider-Man got it first, but then Eddie Brock got the sloppy second.
Yes. It sounds amazingly terrible, yes.
That's funny.
And there's Venom being pissed off. Now this is a point where I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to make multiple saves. Because I wanted to show off all the stages.
I like Venom a lot. Like he's probably like my favorite Spider-Man villain.
Mm-hmm.
I love Venom a lot. I think there's just so much you can do with like the symbiotes.
Yeah. Also, immediately, like, remember how I said there's stuff hidden on the walls? Immediately, like, what is this, like the 6th stage now? You cannot climb the walls as Venom for some reason. And literally, I think, like, shortly after this, like, wall climbing, for the most part, is, like, not even a thing. And I always hate how this level has, like, no bonuses. At least item-wise. And that's why I'm kind of, like, doing the little thing where I'm trying to, like, swing up in the air.
Like, there's just so much you can do with the ideas of symbiotes. Because, like, look at Venom. Just from that short time he was with Spider-Man, he basically absorbed Spider-Man's powers.
Yes.
Into his DNA. So could you imagine symbiotes just locked together with other heroes or villains and like gaining their personalities?
Oh, that would be cool. I see that. I see where you're getting at with that. That would be cool. Speaking of symbiotes,
there is a story. There is a comic story about that. I forget what it was called, but there's like, or basically Venom's suit gets like exploded and split apart, and it becomes their own like little Venoms, and they start latching onto people.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool to think about.
I ended up losing
Venom and Carnage.
I ended up losing. Oh, okay, go on.
Venom and Carnage together have like 6 children, and like each one has their own like abilities and like are insanely powerful. And I love the idea of each of like all these different. Cause like there's like what if stories about like Venom bonding with Deadpool and just
Oh man, that would be devastating. Because Deadpool is already pretty devastating. I love those movies.
I think at the end, Venom left Deadpool because even Venom couldn't take the insanity.
Wow. Just wow.
I think that's how it ended.
That's hilarious. I need to read more comics because that's the thing, but it's kind of hard to get a hold of comics because there's like a billion of them.
Yeah, especially the older ones.
And then like half the good stuff is probably hidden in like single issues. It's not going to be like re-brought up or anything, like the thing you just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, this level's actually really difficult. I rarely take this route because even though I love like Venom in this game, I think he's a cool playable character. I literally hate like this like bit right here because just because one there's hardly any extra power-ups in this level, aka lives, continue, so forth. And then
play flawlessly.
Yeah, because we already see now I lost a continue here already, which is not good.
No.
Thankfully I have to show the other route, so which is exactly why I didn't care about losing a continue, because I have to go back and show the other route. So we get to have that continue back because I never lost it.
There's a Spider-Man video game called Ultimate Spider-Man for the PS2.
Oh, I like that game. That game's fun.
I love that game. What my favorite thing about that game is after you beat the story, you have free reign on if you want to play Spider-Man or Venom.
Yeah.
And
unfortunately, I don't think there's like much you could do with Venom afterwards, but I'm not sure.
No, after the story, it's basically like go cause carnage.
Yeah, that's basically the only thing you could do with Venom. I think there might be like some challenges you can do, but that's about it. And but Spider-Man has like all the races. Spider-Man has like races and all these other things you can go collect around the city. Yeah, also like just the time trials and stuff like that, like all the little side missions, the side crimes that you can do. I played that game semi-recently because I was kind of going through all the Spider-Man games to see which ones I could use for my story.
It's one of my favorites, honestly, from the PS2 era.
Yeah.
I think people should. I think it's very underappreciated and like underestimated.
I would love to do a stream on it and Spider-Man 2 because I have and Spider-Man 1 for the PS2 because I technically have all three of those games. I don't have Spider-Man 3, unfortunately. But I never actually got to play that one.
But what I love about being able to play Venom in that game, is they actually take advantage of like.
You can like digest people. You can like that.
Because eating people. Because like.
That was
Venom,
cool. That was cool.
That was a cool part. That was a thing in the comics that movies and stuff just don't bring up. That Venom straight up eats people because of his insatiable hunger.
Yep. He doesn't do it in this game either, which would be very helpful if he could. Let me tell you. Backtracking to like having that power in this game, dear gosh, that would make up for the lack of power-ups.
Like Venom can and has bonded so closely to Eddie Brock that he just doesn't want to hurt him anymore because he needs him. They've been bonded for so long that if one dies, the other dies.
Mm-hmm.
So to keep up with the symbiote's need for, food and blood and all that, he eats other people.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about an Ultimate Spider-Man video game is that was your way of healing.
That was your way of healing. It was real nice. It was really nifty.
So you got real damaged. You would grab someone, eat them,
And now you can even do that to bosses like Wolverine. It was nice.
It does not only for like a second though, because he bursts right out.
Oh, he'll burst right out, but you get a little bit of healing off of it.
You get a little bit of healing off, but you do get stunned afterwards. So I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
But like, now granted, to keep the game from getting too mature, they do show the body like shaking on the ground.
Uh huh.
But
also,
like,
we're going to come back to that cutscene in a minute. We're going to come back to that cutscene in a minute because that was the end of Venom's path of that part. So now we got to do the chase.
Like, you know what's going on there. Like, he's straight up eating those people.
Yes.
And I love when they first showcased that.
Blip.
They had him eat a child.
Also, oh wow, really?
Yeah, in that video game, when you first got to play as Venom, he literally preys on a child.
Oh god, I kind of forgot about that. Okay, right here, I was wanting to kind of show off what you're supposed to do at this level. I think there's a couple options of what you can do at this level, but I can't remember anything else. I know one option is you could technically knock the goblin off his thing if you hit him. If you hit him, you can knock him off his thing, but it's kind of hard, it's kind of tricky to time, which I was trying to show that. Because it's basically like one shot to do it. If you do it, you get to basically save from some headache in the next level. Otherwise, I don't know if there's anything else you can really do at this stage. I'm almost forgetting if you could like, because like, yeah, he'll just run into you right there. If you just keep on going. It's technically safer to go. It's technically safer to probably just drop down immediately and not worry about it and just fight him on Times Square. But yeah. Yeah, woo. I forget when I just gave up on this. I think it might have been right there. This is where I gave up on it and we decided to actually fight him. Apparently you still lost health there. I think I was noticing the loss of health. I was like, oh.
You're like, well.
Oh. I think I got hit again anyway.
You're like, isn't that just fantastic?
I think it's like one of those moments where it's just like, it's like, well, but that spider boy just going to get himself. It's just like a Dukes of Hazzard moment. It's like, well, that spider boy looks like he got himself into a heap of trouble.
Well, there goes that there spider boy going in there to get himself a bit of trouble. He's having a good time up there with his web shooters. You know, his little, you know, flip, yeah. God.
But yeah, one headache with this level is you gotta immediately knock this dude off of his little thing if you don't knock it off of him there. And literally having like no health to start off this fight kinda sucks. Cause I just now it's like apparently you just have like no health. Oh, and apparently when you continue he's already off his dang thing. So it's like, you know what, we're just gonna have the fight. Let's let the fight begin.
Goblin, Hobgoblin, Demogoblin, you know, all these different goblins, they're all really cool characters as well.
Yeah.
They're another prime example of superpowers aren't everything.
Yeah.
People like them and Iron Man and stuff, they show that they can do so much with just their technology alone. They don't have superhuman strength. They don't have their, like, heat vision and stuff.
Yeah.
They're just them, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of what I want to show in my stories, too, is that having magic isn't everything. But, yeah.
But it definitely helps.
It definitely helps.
Doctor Doom is a prime example of, like, just the power that someone can hold. Because he has technology, which is already strong enough. Like, he's probably just as inventive as Iron Man. But he also knows arcane magic.
Oh, yeah.
which makes him a force to be reckoned with. Like, he is probably one of the most powerful villains I've ever seen.
And now apparently the story is Venom just walks up unconscious at our door, and now Demo Goblin has decided to join these guys.
And another cool thing about it, is that you wouldn't expect him to be as strong as he is either. Like,
Demo Goblin is probably one of the more obnoxious enemies in this game to fight.
100%.
Because just as you've seen, he will match your punches with like his own little counter punch, which is really hard to like, which does like so much damage. It's annoying. It just,
Oh yeah, I can imagine it must be pretty.
Like all the villains in this game actually are obnoxious to deal with. And then when you get to the end bits of this game, yeah, like when you have to fight a lot of the certain bad guys, it just gets obnoxious. But yeah. We'll get to those fights, because those fights basically start taking precedence as the game's boss fights. Like, sooner than later. And then Spider-Man's like, no! But anyway. But anyway, let's see. One, I think technically you brought up an interesting story that that I was like, I wanted you to share when you got on here.
Yeah. You're talking about the origin of Spider-Man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the one. Go ahead. This is a great time to go ahead into it, because this next bit thing.
Spider-Man was not the cool thing about Spider-Man is we all know he's like one of the most popular, if not the most popular Marvel character, aside from Iron Man and people of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a point in time where Spider-Man almost didn't happen. Spider-Man was made on a whim by Stan Lee, who was originally denied. Because back in that time when Spider-Man was made, people looked at, like, superheroes as needing to be, manly and, like,
who was Marvel actually using as superheroes around that point?
Captain America.
Okay, makes sense.
It was very patriotic, very, like, and he's very, like, up-in-your-face dude.
America.
And then, like, I think Iron Man was there at the time, and then I think Hulk was around as well.
Okay, fair enough, okay. I like Captain America.
You basically got these, like, very, like, manly heroes, and, like, they're, like, strong personalities, or they're, like, extremely patriotic.
Yes.
But Spider-Man is none of those things. He's just a regular teenage boy who happened to get. He's weak. He's flimsy. He's nerdy. He's not what you would call back in that day, like an actual man.
He definitely doesn't seem like much hero material. That's for sure.
But then he got bit, and because of that, Stan Lee was originally denied to have Spider-Man be a thing, which was sad. It was sad to me at the time. But then he finally got a shot to put Spider-Man into action, just to see. He said, "Well, let me give it a shot. Let me try it. If it doesn't work, we'll drop it. We'll get rid of it." And so he put Spider-Man in a one-off story into a comic called Amazing Fantasies, I think it was called. I know I just looked it up, but I already forgot the name.
I think that's it. I think that's what you said earlier.
They put him into Amazing Fantasy, and lo and behold, he got that one story, and it flew off the shelves. People adored Spider-Man, and they just ate. They loved the story, they loved the character, and they just ate him up. And lo and behold, Spider-Man became one of the most popular Marvel characters in the entire Marvel franchise because of this one.
Because he was very down to earth, and people could relate to him, basically.
He's the most relatable.
We have the most. We have truly the most dangerous weapon to Spider-Man or Venom now.
Oh yeah.
Umbrellas.
Oh, umbrellas.
Yes, umbrellas. So much so that literally these two bosses, or this little boss fight right here, I want to consider this a boss fight. Because I've always considered these the boss fights, and heck, the villain fights, even though they're more the boss fights in this game than these. Like, the villains never have besides, like, one, which we'll get to way later, don't ever have, like, the green health bar. Like these guys do, which I always thought was a cool concept. Is that the bosses have, like, the green health bar, which you have to whittle down to finally red. Yeah, we're gonna redo that stage now. Because I did not need to lose continues to stupid things because they were very limited.
Yeah, but it's just amazing to think of where Spider-Man could have been.
Yes, he could not have existed. Also, that also sounds like the same thing with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy's kind of had a similar thing where that was like the last thing that was going to happen, like. That Square was going to even put out because they were almost bankrupt off their other stuff. So they're like, we'll just try this last thing. If it fails, then we're done. And then it was Final Fantasy, and it succeeded so hard that, well, they're definitely still around today for sure.
Yeah. Oh, Final Fantasy, great series.
Yeah, that's why I don't care how much like people may or may not like it. It still kind of saved Square. Square still had a lot of really good games. Even though they don't try to do them today. And no, go back.
Now, I know I could not, that story of Spider-Man's origin, I could not give it justice. There's an interview out there where Stan Lee explains the whole story himself. And it is just... Yeah. It's really nice to hear.
It does sound like a pretty good story. Let's see. But I was gonna say about like before, like when the boss fight was going on. I love the fact of like the double health bars. I've always liked the concept of multiple health bars for enemies. Like that's why I love Kingdom Hearts. It's because in Kingdom Hearts, like the tougher enemies have like 5 or 6 health bars. It's actually kind of fun whittling down the health bars. And then also another one of my favorite games, Legend of Mana. That's like one of my top games. I don't even really truly understand why, but I absolutely love it. I still love it to this day, and one reason I love it is just because, again, all the enemies tend to have like multiple health bars. It gets a little bit insane when you get to the hard when you beat the game and go into said new game plus and then put it onto insanity difficulty. That's a little bit insane because the enemies have like 100 health bars each, and even like the smaller enemies we're talking. But yeah, that stuff gets insane, but it's still a pretty fun mode to go through. It's still a pretty fun game. I mean, not that mode. That mode's insane, stupid. But I'll probably have to do it one day just for shits and giggles, more or less. But what else is there? What else was there? Oh, yeah, but the multiple health bar thing, the thing was always fun. And I liked how this game did that. And then, basically, probably after this stage until like near the end of the game, we kind of forget about that. But I can't remember how often. I temporarily forget how many more times the green health bar shows up. Oh, this saved my butt right there. That right there, having that power hit. That power hit's so good. I've not talked about how that even works yet. To get that power hit to work, you just gotta hit a person like enough times without missing. You just basically hit people enough times without missing. The grabs do a good job of doing this and stuff of that nature. But you just basically hit people enough times without missing at all. Like I'm missing right now, so that wouldn't count. But that like lowers it. Like missing a little bit doesn't hurt, but like missing like 2, 3, 4 swings really does hurt. And here we go. This is again when there's one person, it's really easy just to do this method to take them out. But this is like impossible to do when there's like 2. Because it's like the other person will just hit you. And preventing you from doing that. But yeah, so we got past that now. Hooray. But yes, Umbrella is the most dangerous weapon. Because that fight has been a run-ender a few times for me. Well, game over there. Apparently, you guys want to act like animals. I'll treat you like animals. From this moment on, you get no mercy from Spider-Man. I'm actually going to use these games, Spider-Man based games, for technically one of my female characters, Claire. Because she's kind of going to get like a vigilante role. For her story, and she's basically going around trying to find the truth and stuff. So Spider-Man games are actually going to be used for her to basically be like, well, I'm going to like try to find the truth about what's going on in the background of like all this craziness. Actually at some point, if you haven't already, I suggest that you check out the video, the stream I posted in the help section of my Discord at some point. And it basically explains like exactly what I plan to do with like all the plots. I may post that to YouTube at some point, but not sure. It might just be more of like a private thing, or technically I have it as a highlight, and I don't know if highlights ever go away. And if they never do, well, there's forever a highlight on my Twitch channel for people to see it. And if you join my Discord, it's in the Help Wanted section, so there's that. Oh, and this is the stage that starts introducing this. As a kid, I couldn't do these that much. As you can see in the middle of my, between the 2 health bars there, the bad guy health bar and my health bar, there's now a counter that has cloak on it. And now 4 daggers. This is the summon system. I'll be showing it off here momentarily.
I've learned it's actually better if you don't use, apparently. Like, you gotta...
Give or take, because honestly the best time to use them is against these guys. Honestly. So honestly I'm going to use one immediately right now because I hate fighting these guys ever. These guys these guys can drain your lives so fast. Which is why they literally give you 4 hearts in the freaking room. I'm glad that completely missed everybody there for a second. Or Demo Goblin, mostly. I just used the crap out of these because I didn't want to lose lives. So, like I said, it's kind of a give or take scenario if it's better to use them or not. Alright, we got rid of those 2 guys. Now this lady, dang it. I love how she literally came behind me and just murdered me. This is basically the format for the rest of the game. Like for boss fights for the rest of the game. Literally just ambushes like this. Just increasingly getting more and more people. Technically, I think the next ambush like this is basically what you gotta like do like 3 or 4 times as you progress through the game. Because this one only showed those 3. We still have yet to fight Carnage yet, which is good because we don't have anything to hurt Carnage yet, besides trying to fight him normally. Yeah, I know. So we went to the ruined orphanage to try to come up with a plan.
It's Black Cat. Hey, yeah. Felicia Hardy.
Have you ever played another good game? I remember playing enough to completion at least was Spider-Man Friends or Foe.
I love that one.
That one's fun because you get to have like all the bad guys join you as a party member.
That's another like underrated one because like you're sitting there, all like the villains are being like mind controlled. You gotta beat the crap out of them and back to their senses, and then they're like, "I don't like that. I'm gonna help you now."
And pretty much, that's pretty much the plot of that game.
I think you mainly get. I think you do like get mainly heroes as well to help you, but then like you've got like Doc Ock and Venom and other people who help.
Who is the bad guy of that game? I can't remember.
Mysterio.
Mysterio was the main bad guy?
Mysterio was the main bad guy who created this like hypnotic technology and brainwashed like all like the heroes and villains.
Huh.
Yeah, and then at the very end you beat the crap out of Mysterio and then Mysterio was also the main bad guy in Shattered Dimensions.
I don't think I've played that one yet. I'm not sure.
Shattered, you know the movie, I mentioned it earlier, Into the Spider-Verse?
Uh-huh.
Shattered Dimensions basically delves into the same concept of multiple dimensions, as the name implies.
True. You know, this level as a kid, I thought...
The synopsis of the game is that Mysterio is after this tablet. It's called the Tablet of Time. And basically, if he owns it, he can manipulate time, he gets, like, cosmic powers, you know, that sort of thing. And as Spider-Man, you go to stop him, but during the fight, the tablet smashes. And since it broke, and the pieces got scattered between multiple different dimensions. And it's really good. You get to play as 4 main Spider-Man. The regular Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man Noir, and then a dimension where Peter kept the black suit.
Nice.
And they're all working together to get the pieces, and each one plays differently, which I love. Spider-Man 2099 is more technologically advanced, so there's a lot more like suit powers, and then you're going around and you're like you can. By the way,
that free continue is really important. The free continue is very important right there.
Yes, it is. But like you can glide and stuff with 2099. Noir is more stealth based.
Do they have does it like the gameplay actually reflect that too?
Yes.
Oh wow! So you have to like you have to play as like each one with different mechanics in different levels that kind of suit their mechanics.
Now, at the end of the day, it's still Spider-Man, so you're still beating the crap out of people.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
So
but I was just like saying I was just asking if like the level design was actually reflecting on that.
So like, Noir is like takes place in like the 1900s. So the colors are all washed away. It's mainly grays and like very light blacks as the coloring. And your job when you're playing Noir, stay in the shadows, sneak kill. Well, not kill, but like stealth people.
Yeah.
And even with the bosses, even with like one of the bosses was Hammerhead. when you're playing Noir,
Mm-hmm.
and the only way to beat him.
That just reminded me of another Spider-Man game I'll mention after you get done.
Yeah. The only way to beat him was to make sure to stay out of the light and stealth blow him when you get behind him.
Nice. That actually sounds kind of fun. I'll have to check that game out when I get a chance. I've definitely not played that one.
And then the black suit Spider-Man, his mechanics are more rage-based. So, like, it's basically the same thing as regular Spider-Man, but, like, the more you get hit, the more, like, your kind of, like, suit starts to, like, take over, and, like, tendrils start to come out, and you can, like, whip people. And then, like, you go into a frenzy mode where you're basically invulnerable, and you're just smacking the crap out of people.
Yeah, I have to show off those games when I get a new PS2, or somehow find out what's wrong with my current PS2. I won't read disc. But that just reminded me of another game where, when you brought up Hammerhead, because that reminded me of like 2 games for the PlayStation that I actually liked a lot. I actually owned this one for a while. Was on the original PlayStation. I actually had Spider-Man for the PS1.
Oh, we had one of those. Yeah.
That one was good. I actually loved that one. The Carnage was actually a part of that one too, which was real cool.
Carnage, yeah.
He was like part of the final battle, and in fact, like the final bit was the running from Octo Carnage. This next stage is also a run killer.
One thing I forgot to mention about Shattered Dimensions is it takes a character that I really wish was implemented into the movies, or because she's also in the 80s cartoon. I'm very happy she was implemented into that game. That's Madam Web. Madam Web is basically the foreseer of time, space, and all of its like making sure it's kept in balance. And she is a really interesting character that like only ever like speak, and like whenever she's helping Spider-Man, she's always like speaking in riddles and stuff. It's really, she's really interesting. I think I wish she was kind of like implemented a little more into Spider-Man stories.
Okay, true. This part's annoying, but this ain't the part that's a run killer. Because you can just like get hit and walk through it if you really have to. This mofo is about to pop up on screen right about now. This mofo. Which for some reason, before every time I think of this level, I keep wanting to think this is supposed to be like I keep thinking this is a giant cat, and it turns into this guy. And I'm like, why can't I keep thinking it's supposed to be a giant cat?
I
don't know either, but this guy, he's like a gorilla monster, yeah. But as you see how quickly he just destroyed my health bar.
Yeah, dude, that was insane.
That is insane, and there is like hardly any safe way to hit him. You basically almost have to kind of like, the only thing I hate about this is like with most normal enemies, you can probably like fight it out without having to find cheap ways to take them out. You can't summon in here, by the way. Also on a note.
Yeah.
That is a literal note I'm going to make right now, is you cannot summon in this stage. You can only fight normally. There is a wall, but the wall doesn't really do much to help you. Your webs don't really do much to help you. This wall of light is annoying. It doesn't help anything, but yeah, this is the only boss like this in the entire game. This game is actually really short. This is probably like the halfway point of the game.
Yeah.
You said technically before the stream, you technically had said you played this game before?
I have, but I did not make it that.
Okay, random note, apparently Movie Maker is awkward, which is what I'm using right now to do this. Apparently, I guess because where I'm trying to show this to, Rogue here, who's with me in commentary, it basically kind of glitched out a little. It's basically kind of caused it to go backwards. But like, apparently the commentary is ahead of where we were watching in the video. Anyway, so you said you also technically this fight is basically now the standard to how villain fights work in this game now. But anyway, you said you had played this game before? Because it kind of cut off right there when you were saying that.
Yeah, I never finished it.
I never did either growing up. Honestly, I kind of had to use an emulator. Also, where did this guy come from? Corin here. He had not shown up in any of the cutscenes, I think, prior to this. There's not like a weird cutscene that showed where he came from. At least not that I know of.
Yeah.
And he is also the most noxious of them. Because he is like immune to the summons. Most of them. There's I think a couple summons that'll hit him. But you have to hit him first before he'd be affected by anything. Because he has to do his little ghosty thing and then you can hit him. It doesn't take that many hits to take him out. If you're lucky, you can beat him real fast. But it is annoying. Also, always have a charge of the sonic gun or a fire move. Like a fire summon.
Okay.
At this point. Because, like, it is the only thing that, like, basically one-shots, Carnage. Basically. You can basically near one-shot Carnage if you have either a fire move or a sonic move.
Which I love, because that's very accurate to the comics.
Exactly. That's actually really smart. That's why I absolutely love that factor. Yeah, Karin doesn't have that much health, at least not now. But, like, so if you hit him quickly, but the problem is everybody else around him, on top of him, that kind of make him a pain. See, we got rid of him there. And here's Carnage.
The scary part is, even when being shot with fire or sound-based attacks, Carnage still finds a way to, like, really tear you to shreds.
Yeah, but Carnage, if you do that, Carnage basically you can just punch Carnage like once afterwards and he's down. Carnage has the most obnoxious fighting pattern in this entire game. So trying to fight him normally in any sense of anything is just like a bad idea. Also, thankfully we were able to get that firepower before the stage transition went away. Because, yeah, firepower is good.
Yeah, fire good.
Fire good against this. Also, Prospect Park. I think I end up losing way too many continues just in this little bit, which kind of sucks, which is pretty much why I end up having to load state a lot after this, because, yeah, I wanted to at least have one continue for the final boss, for reasons.
Yeah. No, I get it. You want to have that.
Because you'll see why when we get to the final boss, because the final boss is completely different from everything. But we'll get there when we get there. I know as a kid, technically, I'll point out the furthest I ever got as a kid, like on my best run, like ever, Because most of the time I die either at that monkey thing, or maybe along Prospect Park here, because this level's kind of hard. This level also introduces the smartest. Well, no, I think the club technically introduces enemies that technically would have pulled out a gun on you. But I think there's like one guy, and you can like knock him out like real fast. I think right here I was just like that, and I forget if I think I end up loading the state here in a moment, or well, it might have already happened by now. But yeah, there it is. Well, for me, again, if some of this commentary seems off, it's because Movie Maker, and because it's trying to stream over Discord. So apologies. Immediate apologies if things don't seem right. I'm commentating as I see it, which it should be where the commentary is at, but lag might be causing it to be like, no.
It's like, what do you think you...
It's like you want to have like a normal stream that actually makes sense? Haha, no.
We don't do that here.
We have to have some type of technical flaw everywhere with my stuff, apparently. But it annoys me, but technically the problem is I'm stuck on weak laptops right now. Like, my old laptop is decent, but still weak, and my new laptop is just full of flaws. And basically just does its best job of basically downloading my videos from Twitch and then uploading them. And then the internet here is very bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, all those problems. I have data, and the data here ain't half bad, but like I only have like maybe like what 10 gigabytes of mobile hotspot if I really want it, and it's kind of hard to make use of sometimes. And sometimes even if I were to use that, that would go out real fast, and the umbrella guys are now a normal enemy now.
Oh god.
Yeah.
They're a normal enemy.
Yeah, they're a normal enemy. All the mini bosses become normal enemies in this game. They're basically like all the fat people were normal enemies. I think this time around I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to. I don't think anything drops continues anymore either. Like lives or continues are all gone now. Hearts are, you're lucky they show up, but lives and continues just don't show up anymore. After I think this point. Like you had to pick them up at the beginning of the game or in bonus rooms. Again, those are a thing that exist that I remembered after recording this. But yeah. So this game is ridiculously hard, basically is what my point is.
Oh no.
It's fun. It's real fun. But this is kind of like what I was going to say. It's like if I was to make my own beat 'em up game, I'd probably make it like a mixture of like Scott Pilgrim, except as like long as like a really long game, like a pretty long game, like maybe like I don't know, 30, 40, 50 levels for beat 'em up. Basically something like that. That's how long I'd want it and such. But with like between each level there's a save point. And then like a shop where you can go back and get stuff, and maybe even go back to previous levels, grind. Kind of like Scott Pilgrim. That's a real good game.
I've never played Scott Pilgrim.
I think it's coming to the Switch. I think somehow it's actually coming back to the Switch now. It was like discontinued, but I think thankfully, if I heard correctly, it's coming back to the Switch now. So it's actually going to be a thing that people can play again. I actually still have it on my PS3 because even though they took it off the servers, I downloaded it.
Yeah.
And so therefore I still have it. So yeah, we're just going to remove these enemies. They don't need to be here. I I think killing them that way also took away that power up, which sucked. I seen that heart spawn in the corner, which may have been because they were going to spawn a heart, and then I'm just like, looking at this situation. Also, this power does nothing against the boss. Like that particular power does nothing against the bosses. Yeah, I'm almost thinking that besides the final boss, we're out of the enemies that have like multiple health bars because the summons would basically wreck them.
Yeah.
So besides the final boss, we're out of the enemies that have that, and now we're at another villain fight. So basically you had a Carnage fight, and then immediately, like one stage later, another Carnage fight with everybody else involved.
Oh jeez, wow.
Yeah. They're basically gonna fight all these guys again. Every single one of them. Basically, every time we do this now, it's every single one of them except for one time. There's one time where that's technically not the case, but I'll talk about that time when we get there. But, like, pretty much almost every time, we have to do this. We have to fight every single villain all at once. Was there a 1-up in this stage? I'm now wondering that because I think I just now noticed my lives went to 3 and then went back down to 2 at one point. I don't even know if I noticed that when I was playing. But yeah, the enemies don't drop like lives or continues anymore. I'm amazed that there was that life there. If there was one, because apparently I think there was one, because I know I was at 2 from the previous stage. Hey, look at this jerk again. And also this jerk. Now we have 2 flying jerks. It's the Flying Jerk Squad. I hate when these 2 are together because it's really hard to try to do anything with both of these guys at the same time. And yeah, you gotta hit him once and then he'll take damage the second time you hit him, but you gotta do it like really quick. It's annoying. You gotta like hit him 2 times in quick succession. If you're really quick, you might be able to get a 3rd hit on him. He was being really obnoxious this time. Like on this particular run, Carrion here was being so obnoxious. The most obnoxious I think he's ever been for me, except unless he was more obnoxious when I was a kid that I can't remember. Because I can't remember half my. I don't even remember how I had a good run that was good enough to get to where I made it to, which was pretty much right after this stage. Like this is like I was able to get up to this stage, beat this stage, and then basically technically get to the final stage before the final boss. Okay, and then oh yeah, you don't have to fight Carnage here. That's right. I think if you could hit him and do the thing, and it basically plays the same cutscene of Firestorm base of like Firestar basically burning the crap out of him and basically almost burning him to death, but not because she didn't want to take a life.
Right.
And then she pulls back, and then Venom is like, "What the heck? Stop!" And then Venom gets all mad because he's like, "Why'd you stop?" And it's like, "You're making a big mistake, right? I'm going to like, murder you for that." And then it's like, Spider-Man punches him away. And then now, like, and then I can speak English, I swear. Because I've just been stuttering a lot throughout this. But yeah, and then Spider-Man's happy to hear that he's nothing like Venom. And then his ribs probably take more damage by getting from across the world. Poor Spider-Man's ribs. And then, for some reason, apparently 2 seconds later, Venom is knocked out, and apparently off screen in this game, Venom is knocked out and taken away. And then Captain America shows up. To help Spider-Man. I like Captain America. He's a cool character. And then this happens. And as a kid, my literal first instinct in this game was, because I kind of like playing as Venom, I was like, I'm going to play as Venom. And now let's see what happens when you play as Venom. This. You get this scene of being captured. This is literally the furthest I made it in this game. And then this kind of made me feel weird because basically during this entire process, Carnage has Venom by gunpoint, blasting him. And then while that's happening, you literally watch Spider-Man do stages. This is also the fight being shown is the one instance I'm talking about, where you just fight Shriek by yourself. If you think we're gonna stop now, you're crazier than I am. Kablurst. And then there's this stage. Where you pick up some power-ups. It shows power-ups that you can pick up. And then this cutscene happens where the little symbiote goes into the sonic gun and basically, instead of getting sonic blasted, he gets reformed and can escape.
Yikes.
Yep. And then now you can finally play as, and then shortly after that, you finally play as Venom again. And then he basically swings past the Statue of Liberty. So weak from torture, took everything we had just to break loose. He's going to healed. And then this stage happens, which is Manhattan Street 2. So now that we showed that, that is the literal final stage before the final boss stage. So literally by playing as Venom, you get a huge shortcut to the end of the game.
Okay.
So I played that stage, got killed because I was on my last life or some crap. And I was the furthest I ever got on the cartridge. Had a really good run to get to that point. And then, yeah. And then now we get to play as Spider-Man's. Spider-Man's does whatever a spider cans. We're gonna jam out to this music for a second. Do 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 do.
Spider. Hello, Governor. This is Great Spider.
Woo. Also, apparently, Windows Movie Maker only lets you record 1 hour narrations. I did not know that until just now because, well, I've never had to record more than... I've barely ever had to use the record narration feature on this thing that much. Well, actually, I'm not sure about that. But definitely never had to do it for over an hour because I used to do 30-minute Let's Plays. Or 10-minute Let's Plays, so... yeah. Okay, maybe I should have edited this part out because apparently we're just still dancing here.
We're just still talking.
Okay, well, we can still talk. So, okay, there it goes, finally. Which it might have already went, beforehand, but I'm not sure. Probably went beforehand before them, but yeah. But yeah, now we get this new stage where we get to beat up cops. I think.
Oh, hell yeah. Beat up the cops.
I think that's what's going on here. Because these guys, these are either road cops or something, but we had to go into the, I believe we're in the prison now. We gotta fight these guys. These guys all pack guns.
I would figure. They're
Yes.
cops.
Yes. But they cannot survive getting power kicked in the face. Power kick is the best thing in this game, but it's hard to pull off. And, yeah, at this point, well, this exact point, I'm trying to just be like, well, I don't care because I'm going to take my Venom save and go to beat the game that way for the the extra continue. Although that became a nuisance in its own right, as we'll see later. But yeah, I like these stages. I like fighting the enemies like this. I like the stages like this where you just beat up the enemies. But then, like, when you get to the end bits of this game, it becomes a nuisance, especially when it starts getting mixed in with the villains. It's like,
Yeah.
Basically, once the villains start showing up in this game primarily as the main thing, the game kind of just focuses more on them and such. Which is fine.
Understand.
It's fine for a story perspective. But as far as gameplay goes, like, this was like the main focus of gameplay, and then kind of it gets put on the back burner. And then, like I said, there's also no more stages where you really can climb walls to get like goodies. So it basically has its things. It's like and then the fact you gotta keep fighting the villains always in a situation where it's like 5-on-1, more or less, without the besides including the summons. They're very limited. Yeah. It's just basically insanity. And then again, where they don't have like much more lives and continue except for one stage that I don't think gives you a continue, unfortunately, but I think it does give you a life, which is nice. Or maybe it gives you I can't remember. We'll find out once we get to that stage. We'll definitely see, because it's a stage that I technically always wanted to play but did not know how to get to. But I will show you that stage, that's like toward the end of this. That's after we get past Spider-Man's route here. But yeah, let's see. So, let's see. I think I have something to talk about now. Kind of. But yeah, the Spider-Man games have usually always been fun. And if I want to make my own beat-em-up game, like I said, the best route I would go about doing it would be to use, basically make a bunch of stages, have shops that you could have shops and abilities to upgrade your character maybe, or have the character level up maybe.
Yeah.
Probably have to where there's multiple characters, have them level up in their own way, have it to where you can swap between the characters probably mid-game, instead of some games where it's oh, you choose one character, well, I gotta show that character for the whole game. Maybe have it to you could have multiplayer, or maybe if you are stuck with one character for the whole game, set it up like a game that came out semi-recently, which looks real fun, which I want to get, which is called Dragon Marked by Death.
Oh, I've not heard of that one.
Have you ever played Mega Man Zero? Ah. Did you ever watch him play Mega Man Zero?
Yeah.
Okay. Think of that game, because it's the people that made that game, mixed with something like a quest like a go to the bar, get a quest, and go on a mission style RPG. So with like 4-player multiplayer that's online.
But you could also pull mechanics from like Spider-Man, Friend or Foe.
Uh-huh.
And have like, oh, well, you get a bunch of like companions that you can pick and choose to take along with you. Some might be like bosses you've beaten in the past, or others might be people you meet along the way.
True. That's also good. I mean, depending on the part of the story we're doing, I mean, I could probably make games either way. Like if it's a solo game, I would probably like this. If it was a solo single player game, I would just have it be like, yeah, do it the way that you're saying, where it's like you unlock new companions and then you just start building them up. Probably go through old sections of the town again. Maybe even have like bonus missions in certain parts, because that's always cool. Like having like levels that have like extra missions in them that are like harder than the original level was. Like have the original level, and then once you beat it, like unlock bonus missions around that area. And then when you beat them, then yeah. And that was the. What are you gonna say?
I said it. No. I was just saying like you can just keep going from there.
Mm-hmm.
And like, are you like, if you make it like fantasy type esque, you can make like a special like power up that's like very rare, but it could like I don't know, something random, like something big, like summoning like a dragon or something.
That depends. That'll depend on the story for that one.
That would depend on the story.
My ideal for like how I actually want to I wouldn't mind making a beat 'em up like I described, but that's like this. But at the same time, I think my ideal gameplay, which I've brought up a couple times on stream, would probably be, and technically I'd probably start off with maybe a 2D version of this, would be almost like 2D Kingdom, would be like my ideal for like a 3D game would be like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
Because it's like Kingdom Hearts kind of does like every kind of genre in it already, in a sense. Because I mean, you got the vehicle shooters with the gummy ships. You have it's a beat 'em up RPG by default with platforming elements. I was just like, that's not going good. I just had to redo that fight.
You're like, well,
this fight's actually kind of tricky. I hate fighting. Okay, let me just put it this way. I hate fighting every villain in this game because they're all cheap. They're all cheap, and they drain your lives like there's no tomorrow, and it sucks. Especially in a game where you have like very limited lives and continues.
It's kind of their job.
It is, but it's like it just feels cheap. Also, this guy heals you if you're low on health. If you're not low on health, he'll punch people for you. I noticed he healed me in this particular run. Like I noticed that was a mechanic he did.
Oh, Iron Fist.
Yeah, Iron Fist. He comes in and heals you. I noticed that was a gimmick he did, literally on this run. I never knew he did that.
Iron Fist, that's a cool character.
Yes.
He does kind of have, like, special powers, but it's like...
And then there's this. Like, right there, I'm like, wait, there's a token right there. I could use that token. I think I end up going back like 2 or 3 times after that to try to retrieve said token. And then after that we have a villain fight here. Also because of this, I think this is my last continue. So like, dying right here would be bad. Like losing this life, I think is a game over.
God, beating this game without these save states must be so hard.
I've not done it yet. I don't have, like, one problem is I don't have the game on cart anymore to try. Yep, game over. Well, I think that's... Yep, game over. And then now we go back to here to try to get that power up this time. And we're stuck on this fight for a little while. But yeah, this game is so frustrating to play without save states. Like, I must have played through this game like, I don't know, like 60 times growing up as a kid. I don't know, it's just a random number. I know I've started from the beginning over and over and over again. I like how this time I killed the guy and I'm like, where'd the power up go? Like, didn't even show up. Like, the freaking token that guy was totally supposed to drop. And then it's like, apparently, according to the game, you're supposed to take out those particular similar-looking goons in reverse. Because the first one always drops that, but that particular one, the one I knocked out first this time, gives you the thing that was... basically gives you the thing that you're supposed to have. Like the thing you're supposed to drop. The first guy I knocked out on that run was dude that was supposed to drop the item. But instead, because he was the first dude to get knocked out, he dropped the other thing instead. And I died anyway, so... yeah. This game is such a pain to play because I played it so many times as a kid and got, like I said, my best run, I got to that one point. I was probably on my last life and I got murdered by that stage we'll see later. Which is pretty much more of the same as to what the stage basically looks like when we were about to play it.
Yeah.
Like, it basically turns into a defeat the villains type stage. That was like so much lag there. Probably not. It's probably because of that lag right there. Okay, now we got that power. And this person is so great and useful that they do absolutely nothing to villains. You wanna know what they actually do? What that character actually does? It stuns the normal people. Just stuns them. They'll look at them. They'll look at that person, just fly away. That's all they do. That's all it does. And while they're looking at them, you can punch the people. That's a bit about it. No damage, no insta kill like most of the other people. Just nothing. And it does absolutely nothing to villains. It's amazing all these summons right at the end of the game. Basically. Because, reiterate, this is this is this stage. Then the next stage is right before the other stage. Basically. And then the last stage. So yeah, basically, I like how I tried to summon him just in time. I was already dead. I tried summoning him, but I was already dead.
You're like, it was over before it even started.
I called him too late. He arrived too late.
They say heroes always save you in the nick of time, but not this time.
That time apparently was not the case.
He must have had like a secret grudge. Like Spider-Man must have owed him like $5 or something, and like
he
was like,
decided not
"This
to
is
show
what you
up.
get for not paying me. Like this is what you get for not paying me."
Yeah, well, you know what? That's what happened that time. Yes, because he just stood over his corpse. So I guess that's what happened. This is probably the hardest streak fight in the game, by far. And probably the hardest standalone bit right here, besides the villain fights. But half of the villain fights can be cheats with the power with the summons. So, like besides even this one technically could if I were to have brought. Like, if I would have saved Firestorm for this fight, I would probably been okay. But I also wanted to survive the dang prison level, so... Yeah.
Yeah, I get you.
But yeah, this game is such a pain without save states. Like... Seeing as you have limited continues, it took me forever. Like, as a kid, the biggest problem I had is I didn't understand what I was picking up. I didn't know, like, continues for certain games, when they gave you continues, I never understood what gave you continues. I was just like, oh, cool, I have a continue. That was it. I didn't understand what was giving me the continues.
And you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah. So, when I didn't understand that, it's like, boom, those two, I think, are down, or, like, on their last hit. They're on their last hit. Oh, wait, no, Doppelganger still has plenty of health. Dang it.
Doppelganger.
Doppelganger's probably down now, if not, one more hit. One more hit down. Okay. I paused here because I was, like, debating if I wanted to use a save. Then I seen the big heart, and I was like, okay, I might have a chance. Might not have to put a save state here. And then this guy. I luckily was able to hit Demo Goblin with a one-shot, and I was like, yay. And then Carrion was defeated somehow. Apparently he got hurt with the Firestar too, which is real nice. And then... that was it. That was that stage.
There we go.
Woo, we did it. Fighting accuracy, 19%. And Manhattan Street 2. That stage sounds familiar.
God, how much longer? Seems like this game's been going on for a while.
It has, but also with this, also we gotta redo this bit now. The reason I technically kind of wanted to, I made a mistake here, because apparently there's a button you press and it speeds up the cutscene, but then there's actually a secret with that level.
Yeah.
Or this cutscene, there's actually a secret. If you mash the X button, you see that the tentacle was already growing out. See that the one thing was already coming out of Eddie there.
Yeah.
And now it's doing it again. If you mash one of the buttons, it does that, and you can automatically just skip to the part where Eddie basically gets his suit back. And immediately breaks out, and it's like, Venom is free! That's what's going on. And now you get to play the stage that was on the back of the box.
Oh, joy.
I seen this on the back of the box, and I was like, I want to play on the Statue of Liberty, and I never seen that level, like, anywhere. And then, like, years later, I kind of forgot about that, and when I beat this for the first time on emulator, I had forgotten about this, but then, like, one time I just looked it up, it's like, how do I get to the Statue of Liberty? And it's like, oh, you mash the button during that one cutscene. And that was it. And so this is like literally a secret stage that you have to basically mash in a cutscene to get.
To unlock.
To play through, yeah. But there's also the stage that just happens to be like literally on the back of the box. So enticing. Looks super fun.
And then it's just hit.
Also the stage gives you a 1-up. Which is kind of useful because it's very needed. Because I need to beat this next stage without losing the continue.
Oh, okay.
Which now we're back to... Which apparently now, Dagger's back. And you only get to see that if you go through that particular bonus level.
Click and Dagger.
Yep. For the time has come to face the light. So you get to see that Dagger's return only in this route. Only through playing that one bonus stage. And you get 2 free daggers. It's the only time she technically shows up in this game. All the summons come up like right at the end of the game, so you don't really get to experience them that much. And yes, I just use them sometimes just to get rid of these guys, because I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with this.
I feel like I got better things to do.
I don't want to deal with the random mooks, because after you beat all the random mooks... Also, that's what he's supposed to do when you have, like, full health. He'll go in and just kick everybody. That's what I knew he did. You literally gotta fight every round, like, every type of mook here. And then, after you beat all the mooks, it's not over either. But there's a lot of mooks here. There's a lot of generic goons here, just everywhere. And that's why I was just like, I'm going to be using my summons here.
No, not Ringo.
No, not Ringo. He has the umbrella.
Whatever will you do?
That, thankfully get an extra life. And then, after that, there's Doppelganger and Shriek. We have a villain fight. With all of them. So, that's the thing, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm using all my superpowers, because, screw it. Because I'm just just using my summons up, because I don't want to deal with these guys. I need to keep my health up. Unfortunately, I don't think that ends up working in my... Well, unfortunately, I don't think I get lucky enough. For some reason now, we've seen in the last level that Shriek and Doppelganger got practically wrecked with the cyber guy, but this time it did not seem to work out that way.
Is it Cable?
I don't know who it is, actually. It was said at the beginning. Who was who, but, yeah. And here's where this dude just wrecks me. Oh, and Card. Oh.
Shit. I'm getting a phone call.
Okay, you know, well. You want me to pause the recording?
Or you can...
I might talk on my phone. I'll just talk about myself for a moment. Anyway, so there's these 2 guys. They're jerks. And they game overed me. Which I had to continue, but I didn't want to use that continue yet, so we've got to redo that stage again. At this point, we're probably further ahead than we are, so I don't know what's actually being... what you guys see compared to what we're talking over. I know after this bit, I'll probably hit stop and then see where we are from there. You know, actually, I'm going to just wait, because I actually want to see where we're at. So, yeah. Okay, and I'm back. Now I actually have a new co-commentator with me. It's the one from Sapphy from the beginning. They decided to. They left before, but they actually decided to come back now. Rogue's done shown back up yet, but it's okay. We'll continue on. Since Sapphy actually ended up missing half of the stream, I'm going to try to summarize everything that's happened. Basically, this game is a hard SOB, as you can tell by the fact that I just lost that continue there, and we end up having to load again. This is where I just gave up on the. This is where I gave up on trying to do this all in one go. That's right. And I just started getting fed up. And also, apparently the commentary decided to jump. The video got lagged up so bad that the commentary jumped way far ahead. So, yeah. That's lovely. We'll be able to see the whole fight with the next part, but yeah. Anyway, so basically what you've missed from this game is, since this is like the last level of the game here, or like the last normal level of the game, this level actually started with basically fighting a bunch of the goons, like the normal mooks, and then switched over to these villain fights, or the villain fight, in the same stage. It's the same stage as that. So if you lose a continue here, you have to start back at the goons and such. And Demo Goblin's a pain. That dude's a pain. Technically, I think the funny part is, technically, when I was recording this footage, I was actually talking with you the entire time. When I was recording this part of the footage, I'm almost thinking, because I think I was getting I remember getting frustrated, and just, I think, talking to you about it. So, yeah. I know you were definitely on call with me when I was fighting the Venom fight, but you just couldn't see anything that was going on. But this is basically the game. It's a nice little beat 'em up. To basically, as you've seen from the beginning of the game, since you were here for a little bit of that, basically, this game's a nice little beat 'em up. I think, my thing is, this game is fun to play in small doses, if you're not trying to beat it.
Yeah.
This game is kind of fun just to play to see how far you can get, but if you're trying to beat it, oh gosh, this game is so difficult, because just even trying to get close, because mostly it's these villains. These villains are kind of the worst part, especially this guy. This guy that floats in the air, and you can't hit him unless you kick him like twice. Like, you kick him once, he's invincible. You kick him a second time, and he actually takes damage.
If he's a flying creature, we need a freaking fly swatter to just swat him out of this freaking air.
That would be so lovely. You wouldn't even understand how lovely that would be. But even worse is the fact that I think, also for some reason, he was being the most obnoxious this particular run, because he kept grabbing on. I couldn't shake him off. It was annoying.
Shake it up.
Ooh, ooh. Wait, that's the wrong song. But anyway. Oh, there we go. There's Carrion actually took damage that time, but I was hopefully supposed to hit Demo Goblin too. But yeah, try to fight these guys. These guys, I think, are the worst combination. Having to fight both of these guys, because one, as you can see, Demo Goblin knocks you, like, basically can, like, kick you, like, basically, like, put a bomb right underneath where you're jumping. Alright, I got rid of him finally, and now if I can time this right, I can Captain America him, but then literally Carnage shows up and kills me. Yeah, I have a continue there, but I'm saving it. Like, I have a continue throughout this process, but I'm saving it. That's the key factor here. I'm saving my continue because I want to have a continue for the next part. As we'll see. We'll see probably here very shortly why I would definitely want a continue for that. I see lag, so we're probably... The footage we're watching is probably behind what the people are seeing, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which sucks. I don't know why that's happening. I guess it's because either the too much stress on the... Like the... computer or something. I don't know. Okay, I got rid of them. Okay. And I just made a save state there. And then we burn Carnage, and all we have to do is punch Carnage once and it's over. And the stage is finally over.
Yay.
And then Carnage kills me.
Oh no.
Because Carnage is the hardest enemy in the game, bar none. For reasons of make sense. Alright, it's over.
It's over.
The end. It's like, Venom, what happened? Carnage was ours, and you stole them from us. And credits.
Oh wow. That is awesome.
We beat the game. Yeah, it's over. Nope.
Oh my god.
Carnage is back. Also, again, and this time he has the green health bar. This is why I was saying that technically I was saying earlier that after the boss that's basically umbrella people that have umbrellas that pop up. Like that's like the last boss. Well, besides I think him and the robot that you fight. That's also both the umbrella people and that robot are like run-enders for me. They're like for stage like a while back. But they're also like right before basically the end game that is basically consistent mostly of that is consisting mostly of what am I trying to say? Like consists mostly of villain fights, like what you just seen.
Yeah.
Basically, after you fight the robot, you basically start getting, like, villain fight. Then, like, one stage. Then villain fight. Then, like, depending on if you choose Venom, who basically gets a shortcut to the end of the game. Then the stage that you just seen. Because he literally gets a shortcut to that stage that we were just at. Which is why I was playing as Venom. Also with this stage, you also have the gimmick of, but like none of the normal stages have mini bosses anymore. So there's no more enemies that have green health after the robot. So, because the stages just end once you beat all the mooks. After that.
Oh my god, Carnage looks super difficult.
Oh, he is. This fight literally takes forever. He is obnoxious because, as you can see, he drains your health so fast. It's basically probably best to come into this fight with like a couple continues, or like all your continues if you can. But that's also kind of impossible because of because as we can see from the various villains, having to fight them over and over again kind of makes that impossible. Because they drain your lives like crazy. Unless you get lucky with the summons, but if you use up all your summons, well then you can't use them later, and basically that was what was going on there, as I was trying to basically show off I was trying to use the summons at a more appropriate time, but yeah. The coolest part about this fight is that you and Venom share, or not share, but have a different stock in lives. That would be Carnage. It's over. That was it. The show's over. Ruined Boy's home. Now it's harder, Carnage. Same fight, just he has more health now. The green bar takes way longer to drop down to red. But it's the same fight. But from what we can tell from a moment ago, Yeah, it's impossible. And also, climbing the building does nothing. Again, there's like no power-ups or pickups that are actually useful from like stage, like after the one stage, because all the power-ups and pickups mostly just become what am I trying to think of? It basically mostly all your pickups and power-ups become the summons. Oh, and any summons don't carry on to this fight because the summon button is now your switch to the other person button.
Okay.
That's why you see Spidey's head there. It's because that would be the button, but I can't even switch to Spidey right now because Spidey is dead. So, and yeah, this game has no save features, no continues, no password feature. So literally, you game over, it's over. You can start all the way back from the beginning, and the game takes maybe about an hour or two to get through. I'd say if you probably one good run without save states probably take you about an hour and a half. If you take like the shortest route, which the shortest route honestly would be go with Spider-Man first. Like, well, yeah, when you get the choices, go with Spider-Man first. Try to pick up any pickups you can from like the one boss fight with the fat guys. There's a fat guy battle where if you fight them, like you beat up one, it drops an extra life. Then two pop up, you beat that, you get a continue. Try to get as many of those as you can, because like as many things you can from there. Because technically, if you lose that fight, it continues the story. Because you're supposed to lose. It's that kind of situation. You're meant to lose, and even when you win, you lose. But like it just auto knocks you out. I've tested it with save states. I was very curious. But you get like a bunch of different power-ups that way. And then the only other thing is I think there's bonus rooms. But they're like hidden, and I don't know where any of them are besides maybe one that I've seen in a video one time of somebody basically doing a review on this game. And so, but they were very frustrated with the game, and I can see why. Because yeah, if you try to beat this game, it's frustrating. Playing it just for the fun of it, just to see how far you can get, kind of fun. But like I said, every time I played it, like 9 times out of 10, I got stuck. I got beat by the robot. I think that was usually my run-ender. Or I got beat maybe at the rooftop or maybe in the park. Because I've only got one run. And I was telling the other person this, Rogue. I had one run where I actually beat. Also your web, like half your moves do nothing here. And that's the other thing with this game, is you have like all these different things, like the web shield, all this stuff that you could use. I never really showed off the web shield because I almost think it's useless. But it's like a block. But I don't even know if the web shield would even do anything against Carnage. Because honestly, with the way his attacks look, I honestly think they would just cut through it, making it pointless. I'm not sure if I've tested that yet, but part of me wants to say that he would just cut through it. And then the other thing is this boss is ridiculous, as we can see. Now, the reason I keep loading state is because I want a full continue set for the second phase. But yeah, I don't know how far along the video we are, so with our words, so I'm just gonna probably just say generic things at this point. And yeah. But yeah, this game is fun. Like when you're just playing this game and don't care about like lives and continues and all that, and actually trying to beat it. It's fun. And you just pop it in, you play it, you beat up some bad guys, you beat up the bad guys for the first few levels. Like, those levels are the best, but then it's like when you get to the villain fights, they're like, every part where you have to deal with the villains almost seems completely different from the normal gameplay style that you immediately get used to right at the beginning.
This looks like an unfair boss because the reach of the arms is like insane.
Oh yeah. The reach of the arms, and not only that, but the power. The power he does with that reach. And the fact that he literally breaks your he can literally break your combo. You can be combo, yeah, see, like there. Oh, actually, I don't know, again, I have to be generic. But, maybe there, I don't know. But, probably there, because, I mean, this happens throughout the entire fight. But, he literally, you be punching him, and then he'll just literally break your combo with that. And what are you going to do when he just suddenly steps out of your combo? I mean, how are you going to defend against that? I mean, like, something like Dark Souls, when somebody is about to attack you, even though you're trying to attack them. I mean, one, your little attacks ain't going to stun them for crap anyway. You're itty-bitty compared to them. So you're not really stunning them anyway. But in a beat-em-up game where you're supposed to technically have stun when you hit people, when that stun doesn't work, and yeah, even jumping far back like that, yeah. That reach is like ridiculous. So yeah, it's insane, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
It's like when an enemy literally can break your combo, it's kind of insane. Again, in Dark Souls, it's kind of fine because honestly, the game is set up that probably your combos ain't going to do much to them anyway besides... Oh, technically there was a point where I tried the shield. I'm currently looking at the shield does nothing. You've probably already seen this, people, but I have now officially decided, I've officially now seen it myself. The shield does nothing in this fight. Why even have it in the game? I don't know how often it does anything, but the fact it does nothing here is annoying because it's basically limiting that the only thing you can do against Carnage is punch him. You can try to dodge around him, but that's not going to do anything. You can't do summons, so you can't have Firestar come in here and burn him, which is about the only way you can even beat him normally. You can't, or the Sonic Ray gun, or anything of that nature. You can't use any of those things, because, again, you just can't. Which, I mean, fine, it's the final boss. You know what this game needed? Passwords. Like I said, same thing with most beat-em-up games. I would say that with Turtles in Time. Passwords. I mean, Castlevania could have passwords, and it just have, like, when you lose a continue. Also, unlimited continues would be nice. Just start over from the start of a stage. I mean, make the stages long enough that we're having to start from the beginning of the stage is actually like a terrible thing. That is actually like terrible. You know. I mean, hell, the continues already do that anyway. You start from the beginning of the stage when you lose all your lives. If you're gonna, in my stupid thing, if you have limited continues and limited lives, it should be like Toho, where you practically just pop back in. Or if you're trying to be like an arcade game, just pop back in. And also have it to where you can set how many, because in an arcade game, literally if you have enough money or you own the arcade cabinet, you literally can have as many chances as you want. That's the thing with an arcade. With an actual game, you don't get to put the money in there. So, honestly, unlimited continues would just be a thing anyway. So, to me, if you want to have lives, unlimited continues. Just have lives to kind of help you get to the checkpoints and such. But then when you just have saves or return to the title screen, but then you just go back to the stage you're currently at. You know, either way. I mean, that's what Sonic Advance does. like Sonic Advance and Sonic Advance 2. It takes you back to the title screen, but then you start back at the start of the world that you're in. And the lives basically only matter to basically be like, yeah. Like I've said before, or in some of these, I don't have a like for lives in these games. In like any old game, like lives kind of annoy me, which is why I don't mind using save states. Is because I basically just give myself infinite lives, infinite chances. But yeah. That's just how I feel. I grew up on these old games, but at the same time, even when I grew up on these old games, I also was playing games like Mega Man and Castlevania at the time. Mega Man always had a password system. After, say, Mega Man, like after Mega Man 1, I think Mega Man 2 and beyond had a password system. So, yeah, but honestly, I started with Mega Man 7 and Mega Man X, and they had a password system. It annoyed me that I couldn't stop playing after Wily when I started the Wily stages, but you know what? That's not what we're talking about right now. We're talking about the fact that even when you die, even though you couldn't save, or like could stop and continue after a Wily stage, you still had unlimited continues. Same with Castlevania. At least Castlevania 4 for the Super Nintendo. Unlimited continues. Start at the start of the stage, but unlimited continues. The lives were just a buffer to help you get through the stage. But yeah. So, right, the lives gave you a checkpoint, but the continue was basically a means to be like, okay, you've ran out, you have to start the whole thing over, and then on top of that you had passwords. So, and then Zelda had a save feature. So even though I grew up with games like this that didn't have that, I also grew up with games like that literally has a save feature. Equaling that I could continue as much as I wanted. Even the original Mario I played with Mario All-Stars, which gave you unlimited continues. So yeah, that's just how I played these games. That's like my preferred method of play. And even like the other game, for one of the first other games I beat, which was Aladdin for the Super Nintendo. Passwords and unlimited continues. A means of saving and unlimited continues. So that literally means that basically for me was like, if a game didn't have unlimited continues, it was kind of annoying. And even to this day, I kind of find that to be like, why? And then at the same time, it's like, well, it's because, well, it's this type of game. It's like, I don't care what type of game it is. It's like, you could still have a save point at the end of, I mean, Scott Pilgrim, we could use Double Dragon Neon and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World as an example. Those are beat-em-ups that are basically based off of old school stuff, but you have a save feature, and you have a, unlimited continues. So yeah, that's the end of my rant there. Whew. Anything you want to add to that statement, or anything, or more to talk about now, Sapphy?
Yeah, watching me get destroyed by a long arm Venom or Carnage.
Yeah, Venom's on my side. Next time I do this, I might just do it on this computer so I don't have to do post-commentary. I only did this, and a couple other games like this only because I was like, my throat was dead and I got really bad sick. So that's the only reason that this and like 2 other games got recorded like they did, because I wanted to do something while I was sick. And then I was going to basically make it up once I got better, and so even though I've been better for a while, I just haven't had a chance I wanted to do post-commentary with somebody else. So yeah. Yeah. It does. It makes a lot of sense. I wanted to do if I was going to do post-commentary, I wanted to have it be co-commentary. Because even though I can pretty much handle, like, do a stream by myself, I mean, I still kind of think that multiple commentary is still fine. Having multiple people. Because, I mean, if I can get on tangents, I can talk forever. That's basically how it is. If I can get on a tangent, I can talk forever. As we can just see from the, as we can literally just see from the tangent I just had about unlimited lives and continues. I'm sorry about that tangent, but that is just that is like my official thing with lives and stuff, and that's why I feel that way. It's not even just Rayman Legends. It literally just has unlimited lives. And you don't even have the thing where it's like you start back at the beginning of the level if you have unlimited with unlimited continues. It's just, yeah. Not even that. It's like just, yeah. That's my hot take of why I do not like even bullet hells. Like a game that technically Sapphy wants me to play soonish. Toho 6. I have played a game that is basically like a bullet hell. That is how I think all bullet hell should basically be in the future. It is a fan game too. It's a fan game from Mario, of all things. But it was like a space shooter.
Hey guys, I have a question.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Kitty.
Hi, Kitty.
What do stream?
Huh?
What do stream?
That's an interesting question.
But what's the answer?
Among Us, maybe.
I mean, maybe. If you guys want to do that.
I don't have Among Us yet.
It's free on mobile.
Oh. So I can actually join you, like somebody who is doing it on like a stream, and I can play it on mobile, basically? Or what? How's that work?
Yeah.
So I would be able to join on your stream via if I had it on mobile, is what you're saying.
Uh-huh.
Interesting. Now I see that, I do see that could be interesting. I may actually take that into consideration. Although I was actually thinking about buying the dang game here shortly anyway, but so I could record it, but I mean, I have to wait until I get like a $10 Steam card so I can buy that and something else, or $20 and get like $4 or $5 games. So it's like only like $5, but I just don't have the money right now. Because when I was going to do it, I was going to probably record my side and then.
Well, I guess we'll find Among Us.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm going to finish doing this first.
I just finished setting up some stream raiders and stuff. So.
Nice.
So, viewers can place a unit once every 5 minutes. The viewers have 30 minutes to place units, but the battle won't officially start until I trigger it. Only way for viewers to see the battle is if I show it on stream. And
so it's literally just like a weird stream element thing that just goes along with the streams.
And the overlay that I already have set up, and the chat bot, which I'm pretty sure I just added, are the best ways to keep you guys engaged so you guys remember and stuff.
Ah, interesting.
Make sure I need to go to my Twitch.
Well, we're gonna finish this first, and then we're gonna finish Maximum Carnage here first, and then we shall probably join in on your stream, possibly. I mean, this is almost done. We're basically now at the final boss.
Okay. Well, I need to make sure I mod.
As you can tell, the final boss of this game is a son of a bitch.
I need to make sure I do /mod stream Captain Bot.
Nice. Do you have to use points or something for the... Do you have to use points or bits for the placing of the people?
What?
Do you have to use like channel points or bits to add people?
No, it's free.
Okay, it's free. Okay, cool.
It's just a way to keep the stream engaged and stuff, you know.
I see. It sounds neat. But look at Carnage. Carnage is a son of a bitch.
Anyways, what are you even doing?
Trying to beat up Carnage. It's, we're basically...
Oh, is that a Spider-Man thing?
It's Spider-Man, yes. It's Spiderman and Venom Maximum Carnage. It's for the Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. I used to play it a lot for the Sega Genesis as a kid. Which means...
Okay, well, I'm disappear now.
Okay, bye-bye.
Find me later.
I will.
I'll be in my voice my Among Us voice channel thing.
Okie dokie.
Bye.
Bye bye.
And yeah, if you guys do want to join me, Among Us is free on mobile.
Gotcha.
Or $5 on Steam. So goodbye.
Bye bye.
That was adorable, but anywho.
That was adorable and also very pluggy. You know what? I'll just, since she technically commentated, I might as well just add her thing into the bottom as well. Also, I don't know if we've noticed how literally Carnage can use this weird Axie move to literally drain an entire health bar in like 1 millisecond. But he can drain like an entire life in like a millisecond. I don't know if this game had, like, I know a lot of games I used to play as a kid, I would sometimes have to use Game Genie codes for or cheat. I know one game for the Game Boy I absolutely had to do that with, which was a Spider-Man game as well. Which was Amazing Spider-Man 1. That game's fun, but, like, and, like, I can get through a chunk of it without cheats, but, dear gosh, like, just trying to get through the whole thing is like annoying because you die so fast and you have, again, limited lives, limited continues because of course. And yeah, that's yeah, it was game over right there, so we had to restart. Because even with 3 lives per character, that's 6 lives. Carnage can drain through them real fast.
Yeah.
So yeah. Links for Kitty's streams are going to be down there. It's down in the description below as well. But anyway, back to the point. Actually, something I don't think I've mentioned yet in this stream is I used to play this game on Sega Genesis a lot. Well, not stream, but video. I used to play this game on Sega Genesis, and the thing is that with the Sega Genesis, I used to, like, my brother, I think, had a 6-button controller, but the one that was more easy, like, the more readily available, was a 3-button controller. 6-button was always hidden for some reason, and may not have worked as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I think we mostly had, like, a 3-button controller. And with a 3-button controller, all you can do is you can jump, punch, and do the web. I think, should you even, I forget if you could even, this is making me wonder if you could even do the one part without that, because I'm almost forgetting if you could even, like, do the, like, stage 2, where you had to climb the building, because you need, like, the, because it's not, I don't think the web, like the web button that you get for that is not the, like, one where you go across the level, because there's a different button for that. The web button I'm talking about is the one where you can, like, grab people and then bring them to you. There's 2 buttons. There's the one where you do, like, the web move that brings enemies to you, and then there's the one where, yeah. And this game doesn't even have an options menu. This game has no options menu. So there's no, like, setting up of the controllers or nothing. So if you, and also that means that the summon button, I don't think the summon button was even there. Unless you were using a 6-button controller. Yeah, I'm not even entirely sure if I'm even correct on all that. But it's been so long since I played the Genesis version of this. But that was the version I kept playing when growing up. But I forget how the heck I beat that one stage now. Or if I had to use a 6-button controller to even play this game. I love how the continuous basically sits there and basically bees like a an arcade cabinet where it's gonna be like 7, 6. It's like I'm playing the game on console. This is not even an arcade port. Why have that? Why have a 10 like a countdown that goes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Like fighting games, I might be able to understand that. Because most fighting games are actually on an arcade machine. And then if you're mimicking that, okay, fine. Beat 'em ups? I mean, yes, there's a lot of beat 'em ups on arcades. Because, I mean, you have like the Simpsons arcade, the Turtle arcades. Sure. And then also, another game I grew up a lot was also an arcade game, so I understand that one as well. But having a system like that where it's like, oh, that. Or if it's like a multiplayer game. If it's a multiplayer game, I also understand. For a different reason of if player 2 decides to step out. Once the little continue button is gone, they don't have the little health bar for them is gone. You have to hit start to continue again, and the health bar is gone. That's fine. That makes sense. But yeah. Me debating if I actually want to get Among Us on mobile now. Not actually sure if I want to, though. That's the sad part. It's like if I had it, I'd rather record it. I'd rather record any run I did on it. Which, I mean, again, I can just get like $10. I'd be set to do that. I'm not sure with the way this is lagging, if we're going to even be able to commentate over the ending or not. Hold on, I'm going to actually see where we're at on the commentary, since this fight's going so long. So we're taking a stop and we're going to come right back. Okay, and well, we're back to wherever we were, and we're still fighting this guy. This fight, me trying my dangness, literally took about like almost 30 minutes to an hour, just on its own. And this includes also the first half. This, like, if you were trying to play this game legit, that's insane. Because you'd get to this, that's another reason I hate that, is because literally having to deal with, say, fighting a guy over and over again. Or no, not even that. It's basically starting the game over, fighting the first 30, like the first batch of moves 50,000 times. It doesn't matter, like, it doesn't matter because it's like, it doesn't matter how hard the end game is. It's the fact that you have to fight the beginning moves like 5,000 times. Over and over again. This is why the games I brought up earlier, like Mega Man and all them, are like way better. Just like Castlevania, like yeah, are way better than games that literally rely on a continue system. Because I get tired of the first 5 moves. How am I supposed to get better at Carnage when I'm exhausted from everything else before I even get to Carnage? And then Carnage is insane. It's like Carnage could be this insane with infinite continues, and it would still, and it'd be like a legit fight. It'd be fair. Or like infinite continues, save points. all that, and it would be a fair fight. But the fact that he's insane, and you have to do the whole game to get to him every time you play. There's no save. There's no save points. There's no infinite continues. Because even with infinite continues, you technically start from the beginning, but you just don't ever have to worry about, like, if you sit there and focus, you can tend and leave the console on for like ever. You can basically do that. Also, I think I left pausing for too long, but it's alright. There's still commentary going on, so yeah. So yeah, that's this game in a nutshell. This game is really fun, really enjoyable, until about like the last half of it. Then the game just starts getting insane, and you've already probably lost all your continues, lives, everything, and enemies just start popping up everywhere, like in the last couple of levels, and you're drained from having to fight like the people, like the whole villain group on the rooftop. 9 times out of 10, unless you're really good at the game, you'll probably get killed right afterwards in the park. If you took the Venom route, you're probably out of lives and continues. Because San Francisco is a hard level. And then, yeah. Oh, not only in San Francisco, but another villain fight against Doppelganger and Shriek. And those are like, even though they're like the first two, all 4 of them are like really hard. And then Venom, and then Carnage himself is impossibly hard unless you have, because he's basically this fight. Like, his combat doesn't change. The only thing that changes is when you fight him when you fight him at first, you have the Sonic Ray Gun and the Fire move. Those insta-kill him because that's his weakness. The symbiotes are weak to fire and Sonic. So that's the only reason that works. Here, you don't have that. It's the only reason why this is actually a real fight compared to that. And even so, Carnage technically never had green health before, so none of the villains have green health. And honestly, I think they could have done better if they were like more one-on-one fights and they had green health. Honestly, I think they could have been better like that. They just basically had like the same health bar, but you had to fight them like one-on-one, and maybe like they kept redoing it over like sometimes. But the fact that like every stage basically ends, like every time you fight them, it's like a 5-on-1 fight, makes it like insane. And starting from the rooftop, the Daily Bugle rooftop, to the rest of the game, is basically every time you fight them, it's a 5-on-1 fight. Except for that one Shriek fight that's on the Spider-Man route, but I mean, that's optional. And then on top of that, then there's technically the 4-on-1 fight that is Manhattan Streets 1. But still, you have to fight all 4 of those guys without any kind of like break, any kind of thing. And the moment one is knocked out, you have to fight another one. You don't even get like a break. You don't even get like a moment reprieve if you knock one of them out. And then Carnage here literally to just eat your lives like nobody's business. And then yeah, this is like literally game over. Start from New York Streets 1. Every time. I would not be able to probably do this legit, at least not without a lot of practice or knowing what the bonus stuff is, to be honest. And that's just my opinion. I don't know if I'd be able to do this, but I don't think that this should be something that anybody should have to do. This is ridiculous. People that can do this, I give props to, because this is insanity. You literally have to memorize how to fight Carnage. And technically fighting him is mostly RNG to how he actually acts, if you can get a lucky shot in or not. Like several lucky shots where you can just like hit him and keep him in a combo. And technically I know one thing that you cannot do is that, from what I've seen, is I don't think you can do that with Venom. You might be able to get him in a loop with Spider-Man. But with Venom, it might be kind of impossible to get him in a loop like that. Which kind of sucks. But Spider-Man might punch fast enough that you can technically get him stuck in that like a small loop. Maybe, but he can still counter Spider-Man's move with that, like his long punch. And all he has to do is like step like once. Yeah, I mean, regardless, even without stepping back, he can still counter with that, with this long attack out of nowhere. The one thing I'll give modern games now is 9 times out of 10, they all have a save feature. Unless they're trying to mimic old games. And even then, most of the time they still have a save feature. Unless they're roguelike. But then those games are literally designed to be beaten one shot, like old games. And then at the same time, technically starting the game from scratch, technically actually is still different each time. Enough that it doesn't matter. And yeah, the web does nothing against him at all. You can't catch him. You can't tie him up. You can't do anything to slow him down. All you can do is try to punch at him. And he can break out of that. This is not a fair fight. At all. And for a game design standpoint, you still kind of have to have some fairity. Even if it's supposed to be unfair. Even if like the villain is supposed to be unstoppable. You still have to have some sense of fairity in game design in there to make it to where the player has a chance to win. And yes, this game has a chance to win, but it's not the greatest. As you can see, I've been trying with maximum lives that you can have in a continuum. There's no lives here. There's no way to get extra lives. The only way you could do that is if you were to flawless the whole game. Everything else before this, you had to flawless it. To the point where you had brought in like 5 or 6 lives from previous days. But even that's kind of hard because the levels don't give you your health back. So you're going to lose lives. From either a cheap shot, one of the villains just breaking through your attacks, something. So yeah. And even when he's red in this stage, his health bar still goes down so slow.
Way too unfair.
Yes. He is. I mean, fine, he's an end boss. Okay. Dracula's unfair, but you have unlimited continues against Dracula. Even in Castlevania 1. Even as far back as Castlevania 1. Wily 7 is unfair, but again, you have unlimited continues. And then, honestly, beforehand, if you want to, you can go grind up bolts and have, like, maximum E-tanks and stuff. You have E-tanks that you could use to heal halfway through a fight. Sigma. Kind of unfair, but you can grind E-tanks right underneath him before the fight. Point is, you can have the unfair final boss. Yeah, I just gave up at this. I gave up toward the end. Because I was like, you know what? I got a power hit stored up right there. That's going to drain his health like crazy. So, yeah. Having that power hit. The power hit does way a lot of damage. And it's about the only way you can do anything. But the thing is, even against someone like Carnage here, it's almost impossible to build that up. Especially with Venom. Because Venom's slower. Again, I like to reiterate, I liked this game as a kid. I enjoyed this game. I think, even coming back to playing it, I kind of enjoy playing the first half of this game. The first half of this game is fun. Besides, like, maybe the Shriek and Doppelganger fights. Like, besides those. Like, all the normal stages, they're fun. Like, where you're just playing against, like, the normal bad guys, like the thugs, the street thugs. Those stages are fun. I kind of wish, if these bosses were going to be like this, I kind of wish that they would have been like the bosses. Instead of having, like, pumped up normal enemies, if they would have thrown in, like, the shriek fights and stuff of that nature there. In a stupid sense, I think this game could have actually been fun. Basically having them there, having them have green health, so forth and so on. Or having more crazy bosses that actually seems pretty cool. But just having them be like there one at a time. Or maybe two at a time, I don't know. But like just there. Or just have this game have unlimited continues. I don't know. Or a save feature. I don't know. I mean, this whole fight is... Well, this whole story was about, like, unfair fights. But yeah. And I finally beat the game, and now the Avengers finally show up to actually take Carnage away forever. Hopefully. Be careful with this Joker. We have been warned about Castine's ability to regenerate his costume. We came equipped with a stasis container. You know, Spidey, even though he's in the Avengers custody, I don't think I'll ever be truly safe from Carnage. Monsters like him always have a way of returning. Some monsters stay locked up forever, and their ghosts can't haunt you unless you let them, I hope. End of Maximum Carnage, or is it? It is. It's the end. Also, one thing that makes this game really fun to play is the music. Not gonna lie. The music of this game, I've not commented on it because we can't hear it while we're doing commentary. My favorite two songs are literally the first stage theme and the boss theme that comes accompanied with it. Which also is another thing that disappoints me is when you're fighting the villains. It just has like a normal stage theme. Or it's what almost feels like a normal theme to it instead of a boss theme. Like the boss, like you get a boss theme when you fight like the girls with their hair, or the two guys with umbrellas, or the big guys with the clubs. They just become normal enemies later. You get boss themes for them. But then anything else that's basically a boss, like the real bosses of the story get like no real boss theme except for what might be considered their theme, but yeah. Anyway, that's the end. Thank you all for joining us. Check the descriptions for the people that joined me, and have a wonderful day. Anyways, thanks for watching. Just adding this last bit of narration here, just in case. Here, is there anything you'd like to say before we end this?
Not really, but thanks for watching.
Okay. Just kind of wanted to make sure that there's nothing else that needed to be added or anything. Also, let you sign off, basically.
Yep. Take care, all.
And I love you all. Be sure to check out, if you want to watch my live streams on Twitch, check out the Twitch link down there. If you want to check out the Discord, it'll be there as well. But yeah, thanks for showing up. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I think that's the end because, I mean, there's no reason to really continue this. But thanks for listening to me ramble while we were fighting Carnage. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below telling me what you guys think of basically the stuff I was talking about, like the reasons like why limited continues suck and all that stuff, and what your thoughts are of this game. Anyway, thank you all. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye. You can say bye bye as well.
Bye.
Okay, bye bye.